Have you ever felt like no matter how nice you are, people still take advantage of you? Like you're constantly putting others first, but you're feeling unseen, unheard, or unappreciated? And if so, congratulations. You've been screwing yourself over and quite possibly ruining your relationships. Welcome back to my channel. I'm Rachel Sky, and this is Fierce Wisdom Wednesday, where I share unapologetic truths and mindset shifts to help you embrace the confidence inside of you I know you have. And before we get into today's video, my reminder to you to hit like and subscribe. All right, so let's get into it. So why are we as women conditioned to be nice? Well, it's because society has taught us that we need to be agreeable, accommodating, and self sacrificing. And while that have helped us out back in the day when women didn't have any rights and needed to rely on getting married to a man in order to survive, but we're in the 21st century, babe, and we can do bad all on our own. But unfortunately, this time honored tradition has been passed on through the ages and has actually kept some of us stuck in that mindset. Another reason why we've been conditioned to be nice is for fear of being labeled as selfish or difficult. And so we suppress our needs. And moms, I am talking to you. I have talked with and coached so many moms, and I hear their pain and their fear over being judged for simply taking an hour to themselves during the day, or God forbid, they take an hour to themselves in an entire week. And I want to remind you to not put all of your identity into motherhood, into being a parent, because you forget that there is actually a living human being under that mom identity, and she needs some love and support and care too. And don't get me wrong, motherhood is an exceptionally amazing experience, but it is not your entire identity. So here's the problem: niceness doesn't equal respect. All right. People don't value you because you're nice. They value you because you respect yourself. And when you constantly accommodate others, bending over backwards, you show people that you have no boundaries. And like human nature, we tend to take advantage of that. I mean, I'm sure you've taken advantage of someone's niceness. We all have. We're all guilty of that. But the onus is on you, babe, to hold those boundaries, to keep people from walking all over you like a freaking doormat. So how do you know when your niceness is actually hurting you? Well, for starters, you say yes when you actually mean no. You feel resentful in relationships, but you don't speak up. You feel like you're constantly being taken for granted, and you avoid conflict at all costs, even if it means sacrificing your own needs. And I'll tell you a little story here. I had an employee who was always super chipper, super nice, even to her detriment. And it started to actually cause issues for my business because she let her clients walk all over her, which in turn created entitled little gremlins who then became my problem. They started expecting to be given things that shouldn't have been given to them in the first place at all. And if you've ever tried to tell a toddler no after giving in to them far too long, you know how this turns out. It's a really hard course correction. So let's dive a little bit deeper into how being too nice is actually hurting your relationships. Well, it creates an authentic connection because fake niceness equals fake relationships. When you suppress your true thoughts and your needs, people connect with a watered down version of you. And if you're constantly agreeing with people just to avoid conflict, guess what? They're not actually friends with you. Real connection comes from honesty, not excessively agreeing with someone all the time. Being too nice actually attracts takers and repels respect. People who take advantage of others will be drawn to those who never say no. And people who value respect will actually want to get to know the real you. And being too nice actually builds silent resentment. When you start to prioritize others over yourself, you start feeling unseen and unappreciated. And over time, this can lead to blow-ups or ending relationships entirely because all of that niceness starts to build up like a freaking pressure cooker. And one day somebody asks you for just one more favor, and all of a sudden, boom, you snap. And you're Mount St. Helensing all over them for something they asked you for 5 years ago. So let's shift the mindset, moving from being nice to being kind and empowered. So here's the difference. Nice is saying yes when you really want to say no. Kind is being compassionate without self-sacrifice, and empowered is being clear, direct, and honest with what you want. As Auntie Brene always says, clear is kind. How do you stop overgiving and start valuing yourself? Well, you stop saying yes when you really want to say no. And what I would invite you to do is take a pause before you want to say yes and actually ask yourself, do I really want to do this? Do I have the energy for this? And if your gut instinct says no, then the answer is no. People will survive your no. Trust me, Karen can find someone else to walk her dog. Next, get comfortable with disappointing people. I hate to break it to you, but if you want to stop being walked all over, you got to be okay with making people feel a little uncomfortable. You are not a customer representative for the entire world. So practice saying no to little things like, no, I don't want to eat at this restaurant. I would like to eat at this restaurant. Communicate with clarity, not guilt. I can't do that, but this is what I can do. And say it like you mean it. And remember, setting boundaries doesn't make you mean, it makes you real. Being too nice doesn't make you a better person, it makes you exhausted. You can be kind, you can be compassionate, you can be a badass, but stop confusing nice with valuable. You're valuable because of who you are, not what you can give to people. So the moral of this story, stop being nice and start being real. Which, sidebar, is the tagline for that awesomely bad 90s reality show on MTV.
When people stop being polite
and start getting real. The real world. California.
Anybody remember that? Anywho, what I'm driving home here is the right people will respect you for keeping it real. The wrong people, they'll start to fall off, and that is okay. Because boundaries are all about keeping the good things in your life and releasing the things that aren't. If this hit home for you, drop a comment below and share the last time you said yes when you really wanted to say no. How did that work out for you, babe? And if you want more fierce wisdom talks like this, don't forget to like my video and hit subscribe so you'll be updated every time I post a new video. Remember, Tigress, own your value, because if you don't, someone else will. I'll see you in the next video.